Hey guys, welcome back to another tech tour. Today, we're at Church on the Move in Broken Arrow. Let's go. All right guys, you're in for a treat. I've got Jonathan Vasquez. He has not been a stranger to the channel. We've done a couple videos together highlighting some different things that Church on the Move does. You guys always blow me away with like the excellence that you guys do your production with. But this space is unique. Will you kind of share why and all the things that you do here? We'll get into the details, don't worry.
Yeah, so this is Broken Arrow. This is our Broken Arrow church. It's in the heart of Broken Arrow, and it's in a strip mall, which is completely different than our other two churches. As you guys saw before, Church on the Move Tulsa, that is a large venue. I mean, it's 2,100 seats plus, and I mean, this is 500 seats, and our big thing was when we started launching this building we started building in 2020, didn't get completed till 2021, but our big thing was how can we bring Church on the Move and the history that Church on the Move has had into this building. And I mean, if you look, the ceilings aren't high. I think they're at a top of 15 to 20 feet because there's a slight rake. But how can we do that and bring the excellence and just how we do sound, how we do lighting into this space? So that's what we've done here, and look forward to walking you through it.
Awesome. Well, let's dive into all of the audio, video, lighting, and whatever else we find to talk about along the way. Yeah. It's gonna be fun. Jonathan, tell us all about the audio setup here at Church on the Move.
Yeah, so we're on an SSL 450. We just put this in about a month ago. We've been running older SSL consoles, and it was finally time for us to switch them out, which SSL has been great to us on all of that. Our biggest thing is continuity between all of our churches, between mix engineers, if there's ever one that's jumping from church to church, or even it helps our support team that services all of these consoles, just to have continuity in between. Everything is on board on the console. We're not using any outboard gear outside of the distressors that are down here. Those are just for our drums to get a dynamic feel in our drums. But everything else is just, I mean, it's basically the same at all of our churches. Out on our PA, we have L Acoustics. We have the A10 system, and then we have Qsys subs underneath, just because of the ceiling height, and also with our LED walls, it was a pain to get anything in here. So TC Pro did a great job helping us create a full atmosphere in here for audio, but also where you can actually see everything without being blocked by sight lines. All right, well, here's one of our channel strip settings. This is one of our primary female vocals out here. She has a very vibrant sounding voice. So generic EQ, compression. Also, we're doing some de-essing here, and then also dynamic EQ just to help with some of that unwanted tones that can come out. The one unique thing, and probably some other consoles do this, but with SSL we're able to completely rearrange our channel strip and how it's being sent. So we can rearrange our filter, where the inserts are hitting, EQs, gates, all of those things within it. But we keep it relatively simple.
All right, talk to me about the booth setup.
Yeah, so over here we have CG. CG is pretty simple, standard. We're using a lot of themes and looks. We have a center wall that gets a completely different image than our side screens. So there's a lot of just commands that are going in between those. This church specifically is the one that kind of started it, just with that LED wall in the center. It's a different size than the side screens, so keeping that image completely different has been, his Pro Presenter's done a really great job in keeping that useful and handy.
So are you feeding it all from Pro Presenter, no Resolume or anything like that?
Nope, all from Pro Presenter.
So it's just using audience looks? So you just literally have a center and a sidewalls screen.
Yep. But one cool thing too that we've been utilizing is the center wall needs to have a thicker text, just because it's bigger, wider, and then the side walls need to have it a little bit smaller, so we're able to edit the text within each individual wall and scene.
And what's in the rack right here?
Yep. So in the rack over here we have all of our HyperDecks that are recording our 2 camera feeds, and then also our program feed. Then we also have our router here, and then our comm system. Our comms, we're just using 2 individual cameras and the director. Nobody else in the booth is on comm. You'll see we'll have 2 radios everywhere, so every station has a 2-way radio except for the camera operators. Just that's the main source of communication around here. Also, with a church this small, it is more cost effective just to use radios rather than going, oh, let's go buy a comm system to put it in. And then we also have a switcher down here. Switcher's just basically doing the normal stuff. The one thing we have adapted to now is using a Stream Deck. And the Stream Deck, Jordan, our systems manager, has really geeked out on this. And I'd say probably every week, it's like, hey, can I buy a Stream Deck? But this has been very useful and versatile for the volunteers that are running this. So one thing that we've been really venturing into at Church on the Move is Qsys. Everyone around the church knows I'm probably going to start talking about Qsys. If you're not using Qsys, you need to get involved in starting to look at it. It's saved us so much headaches in automation, but also it's starting to open up the doors a little bit more for volunteers that have no want or aptitude to serve in the technical realm, but be able to go, I know how I can walk up to the booth, hit the power button, everything turns on, and we're able to function in that realm. We use this heavily in some kid spaces. We're continuing to just find new ways to use this program. So our whole system's ran off of Qsys. This is one of our touch panels over here. As you can see, we got lobby sources, outdoor sources. Our KOTM hallway has a source as well that we're able to switch if need be. And then we also have some our amplified power, and then the volume that's going out to the outdoor or leaving this room and going to the other spaces. So it's been extremely useful in that arena. We run Reaper for all of our virtual tracks that are coming back, so mix engineers can work through all of their tracks. We also use the time with our worship team so that they can come back on Sunday mornings, listen to it while our volunteers are running through it, and get the feel of what they played the night before. Unique to this church is all of our volunteers come in at 7 o'clock, and they run through the tracks with full lighting, full video, just to get the feel of what's going on, so that when the worship team comes in at 7:45, they hit one song, do the song, make sure everything's good, vocals are warmed up, all those things, and then we jump straight into service. Historically, at Church on the Move, it's always been, oh, we got to get here an hour early, we got to run through the whole set, but through virtual sound check, it saved us and the team a lot of time. 5 services is a lot for this worship team, so being able to allow them to just come in a little bit later has helped the team as a whole.
To clarify, do you have Saturday night services?
We have 2 Saturday night services.
So you're recording those, and then Sunday morning the team, the media team, is doing a rehearsal with those tracks.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Correct. Yeah.
That's cool. Good idea.
Yeah. All right, so this is lighting. We're running MA3. We have a staff guy that comes through and programs our Tulsa church and our Broken Arrow church on Fridays. And then a volunteer will come through and run it. All of our lighting guys know how to change front light or small adjustments if it's need be. We all know things can change on a Saturday during rehearsal. An extra chorus. Oh, we're gonna swap the chorus and the verse, so they know how to make those adjustments. So MA3 over here, and then up here we're using Madrix. Madrix is our pixel driver that controls our ePix on stage, which are those pink strips right now. One thing that we've been using here is with this space is just trying to create some height with that. We have a ceiling of ePix up above. So that's been able to be useful in this room. And also Church on the Move Broken Arrow is more dynamic in how they use their lighting. So we've been able to do chases and just different functions with that. We had this idea when we were launching our West Church. We had an extra X32 that was just lying around, and me and Tyler from DC Pro were just talking. And we had an idea of like, man, we have an SSL. Sometimes you're going to have volunteers or staff that's not going to want to turn that on, and kind of we don't want them to turn it on because it can be a little cumbersome to get things rolling. We're like, wow, what if we just put just a console off to the side that drives the PA going through the same tuning, but we have just a secondary system that they can just do things that they're comfortable with, because these are in our other spaces. And this has been one of the things that has saved us so much time and people utilizing this console, instead of going, oh man, now I got to send out someone of a staff caliber to go run this event that's going to be 2 microphones just because we got to turn it on. This was way before Qsys was involved. Now we would probably potentially think through, like, can Qsys do this? But one thing has been, oh, we got an acoustic, we have a piano. These are things that we can immediately just tie into the console and off to the races. We've had youth running mid-sized groups inside this room just because it's so easy to turn off and on and get something sounding decent and running with it.
Okay, so talk to me about the patching then of how this works. So if somebody plugs in a guitar on stage, is it somehow hitting both consoles, or?
No, so we have it's completely separate stage box and everything going to this console specifically. So if you do want a acoustic guitar, well, that acoustic guitar is going to go into this routing system. We have 2 different systems of wireless. We have a very cost-effective wireless route that we've gone for this system, where there's 2 packs and 2 MC mics, compared to our system that we use on the weekends. This allows us to be able to do whatever we need to, or simultaneously, if we have an event coming in later, we need to shut down this console. It's been used as a backup from time to time, going, oh, at our West Church we had our SSL, one of our older ones, died in the middle of service. We've been able to swap to this, get a microphone going, so it's been a backup route too, because we've been able to use it in that way. When we launched the space, we went in it with Blackmagic, the Studio 4Ks. They've been great, easy for volunteers to use. The only troublesome spots we've ran into is just the lens, the lens features. There's not very many. There's, I think, 2 that we can use with rear control. So we were very fortunate that we were able to get one that looks really good in this room. Same thing at our West Church. So that's what we're using. They've been easy to calibrate, and we don't really have any issues with them. And also our internal Blackmagic comm system works well with it as well. So on stage, what we're running is we got 2 keyboards on stage, all just running through DIs. And then bass, a Moog, and tracks. Tracks right now, we're looking at a MADI system that will allow us to run a lot more channels, 32 in, 32 out. So we're working through that system right now. Currently, I think it's a Steinberg that's in there. It's been with us for decades. And it's slowly starting to see its last days for tracks. And then over here on the drums are similarly mic'd to what Tulsa has had over the years. Single mic for our kick. Tom mics are DPA, and then all of our, of course, cymbal mics. We use a cage. This is one of our only churches that uses a cage in it, and then they also have a side snare. The tone of the church is they do a lot more gospel sounding music, so they use their snare, which sounds more like a piccolo, a lot, and then they have an SPD pad as well. So for our in-ears, what we've been going to all of our churches is this Rupert Neve in-ear mix. People might go, man, that's an expensive thing. If you factor in how much batteries you're going to be using over the course of several years compared to what you're going to be buying on a Behringer pack. We had Behringer packs for a long time. 1, they overcompress at points, and then 2, they never fails. They always are dying. So we've been really happy with these. At one of our churches, we've had them for, almost 3 years, I would say now, without fail. Always work. Never had an issue through power outages, brownouts. They just work really, really well.
I like the shell over here.
Yeah. So we had the shell built for Tulsa at one point, and they loved it so much in the environment that it was creating in this space. So we brought it over here, and it's been great. It hides everything. As you can tell, they have just a standard keyboard. Their keys rig will stand up at top, or their computer, and they're able to switch whatever they need to around.
So you got the X Touch here, motorized. No, they're not. It's not the motorized fader one. And that's controlling main stage, or?
Controlling main stage, so if they need to switch a patch, that's what.
So they'll sit their laptop up here and run main stage off of it, or is it tucked in like a Mac Mini or something?
Down the hole.
Oh, I see it.
It's right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So right here. One thing that's been unique to Church on the Move is this trough. We've had it at all of our locations. This trough, what it does is hide a lot of the cable management that's going underneath, but it also hides the footlights that are being used so that it can take away shadows from people from underneath. So we've been able to use it that way. We also have snakes or SDI lines that are coming up that we're able just to tuck away and just make it more invisible. You can see further down we have audience mics in this room that are attached to that trough. So it's just an easier way to keep things a little cleaner.
So instead of having floor pockets, you've got the trough, and then like, is this little cutout basically like a floor pocket?
So this little cutout, we can put a snake. We could have a snake come up through that, and then it would just loop over into the trough, so that we could patch whatever we wanted into it. So the LED wall, we're renting that from DC Pro. That just helps to bring this room a little bit more together and not be a big black hole in this specific area. The stage is very shallow, and then the room is very wide. So helping that way has brought this room a little bit more life to it.
What are you guys using for key lights in here?
Yeah, so for key light, we're using Chauvet. We have some R3s up there. That helps just with being consistent with everything. This is a very short throw room with a very short, just a short ceiling. So we've had to just be different in how we maneuver it. Up top, you'll see like we have key light just for certain singer spots, which are ellipsoidals, and then also in the very back, this was a last minute add in this section, was adding more key light because we were running into dark spots just because, I mean, the throw is pretty shallow. I mean, you're probably, I want to say it was like 14 feet from at the angle that's hitting, so we had to add in those 4 spots in the back just to fill in this for the preach.
And then you got a lot of cool gobos going on the walls.
Yeah. This is one thing that's helped bring the room to life as well with the LED wall. It just brings some texture. The walls are all white, and this has helped us just to bring a little bit more of that Church on the Move established culture and feel into this room as well. We were using the same gobos that we have at our Tulsa church. And it just feels good in this room. And then we also have light source LED, full RGB color changing house lights. This room is used for weekend services. It's also used for youth. So in that space, it's really helped to adapt those spaces as well. Also, being able to bring the audience and the stage together with the lighting being the same. It's just those little details that you don't think about until you're in the space and you're like, oh wait, I feel together because there's not a lighting change of, oh, it's white up here, it's pink up here, it's fully together. So this is Playlister. We've adapted this now over a year of using it, and it's probably been one of the most beneficial things we've done in a while. The ROI has proven itself over and over. We used to have Mac computers everywhere across the ministry, and we all know Mac computers back then were expensive. I mean, $1,000 a piece, and then you're thinking about every 3 years you're having to recycle those computers. Then depending on if you have volunteers that are tech savvy or not, there's all just these little implications that you don't think about until you're in those spaces and thinking through it. Playlister has saved us all of that. So right now you can see the downloading media is getting downloaded from the cloud, but on the back end we have both volunteers and staff that are able to do this from home or remotely from outside of the ministry network so that they can get files uploaded, scheduled out, and ready to go for each individual weekend. The other features that they use are PDFs so that the teachers know exactly like what the files that are being uploaded, so they know, oh, when I walk in, this is what we're doing. These are the files. We can give access to a countless amount of people so that they can have the flexibility to either with different types of permissions that they can go in, add, manipulate, and just do different functions depending on what their permissions need to be. If you look up here, we have extra songs. These are just songs that are readily available for this classroom. Same thing with extra videos. We have an album out, so they have music on there. That's one way. That was probably one of the more difficult conversations that we had is we didn't want to go, hey, we're going to put this in, but also we're going to need an iPad to play separate music. We've adapted it to where it's like, no, we're just going to have a separate playlist where you guys go to play music from that has a graphic on it. So it goes like this, and you'll just, well, this is their walk-in music.
Sonos soundbar.
Sonos soundbar. And it's just a loop that just goes all the way through until class is ready. Once class is ready, they jump across. And then this would be piece week 1. They would go through, and this would be their, all right, whatever they're speaking about in this. And with the touch of the teacher is able to control whatever they want. So you don't have the J-hire in the back going too fast, or the 6th grader that's just going, oh, not paying attention, I'm looking at my phone, I'm playing on my iPad, whatever. The teacher's running it all.
So when a volunteer comes in, it's preloaded what's supposed to be on there for that week?
Correct. It's
and
preloaded.
Are you managing that content or someone else?
All the kids ministry teams are managing it. And then with the 3 churches that we have it sectioned out to where the 3 churches can only see their church. So you don't have the, Broken Arrow's messing with Tulsa files, Tulsa's messing with West and Broken Arrow files. They're all deployed in completely different sections so that they can manipulate it however they want. And then the church on the back end has just a generic, hey, this is our log of current content, so that when, 2 years down the road, maybe that kid's pastor's not there anymore and we want to start fresh, well, they can go back to that original log and just pull those files completely. All right, so this is going to be Adam. Adam's our associate kids director at Broken Arrow, and him and his team of volunteers utilize Playlister all the time. And yeah, Adam, would you just share what has helped you with this? I mean, we were originally with ProPresenter using a bunch of Macs all the time.
Yeah.
ProPresenter is great, but I know this has been a lot easier with just volunteers, getting culture, building the systems to make this sustainable week to week.
Yeah. So what's been helpful about it, right now we're about a year into using Playlister, and because we've gone into it for a year, we've been able to build our weekly services by month, but also we're actually getting to the ones we built last year. So we're adding videos, we're adding pictures, even for changing some lessons from week to week. The amount of changes that we're having to do now is a lot less because we spent so much time building our library from all of our Kids in the Move videos, our teaching materials, some of our fun lessons and things like that, our games. All that stuff uploads here in a Playlister, and we can choose from that library each and every week to build our lessons for every single classroom. So from our nursery classrooms up to our elementary classrooms, we can build these, but also our volunteers can help us build these. We can do it remotely. As long as you've got a computer and you've got a login, which is very helpful for us, we can have some of our volunteers go in and edit these playlists, build for the classrooms that they're going to be teaching in, pull resources that they think will be best suited for that classroom in that weekend. It really helps us scale how we're able to do our lessons in our classrooms just so much easier, so much more efficiently, but also including more of our volunteers in it.
The big thing for production is we get less calls.
Yes.
I mean, because there is nothing that we can do besides go to the back of the TV, unplug the device, plug it back in, and go, yep, it's working, or you just broke an Apple TV.
Are the Apple TVs all hardwired Ethernet? Or
are
they Wi-Fi?
They are Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm. Because once it's downloaded.
Once it's downloaded, it's cached in.
Yep.
So then if you do have an outage on your network, well, all of it's cached in, so nothing's going to happen. The only issue you would have is if you're making changes on the fly, you would just have to ride with whatever is downloaded into it.
Yeah, I would say the benefit too of that is you can make changes fairly quickly, but for users on the front end when you're teaching in classroom, it's just remote. So whereas before you might have to have maybe another volunteer moving your slideshow forward, going back to this part of the lesson or that part of the lesson, literally if you're leading the class, it's in your hand, you're just clicking next, clicking back, clicking forward, and it's way easier for you to use it on the front end.
A couple other features that we will probably start to use and we're POCing currently is we're at our Tulsa location. We are in the middle of a remodel and we have a cafe area that we're looking to use some new features that Playlister has provided, which is digital signage. So that will allow us to be able to edit menus on the fly or do content as needed. Once I even see a day where we'd be able to use this as a slide loop. Once some other features become readily available through Playlister, that we would be able to use it and be a seamless transition between slide to slide in those moments. So what we're running here is series Sennheiser Series 2000 for IEMs, the system that I was talking about earlier with the secondary wireless system. We have this that's down here that runs it, and this is the microphones that are running through it. They're all rechargeable batteries as well. We've got, I misspoke, we have 3 handhelds in one pack. So whatever that system's required of, if they're doing a panel, well, we got three handhelds in a pack. If anybody needs to use it for an acoustic or a vocalist, or not vocalist, a speaking pastor. Our L-Acoustics amps that are down here, and then our Qsys core that's at the very bottom. And then in this rack, something that's very unique in some fields, I know there's always that tension between production and IT guys. We work simultaneously with our IT team. So we are on the same network as our IT team. We don't have our own separate AVL network. No, we run off of the enterprise network, and our team has been very gracious, and we work very closely together. As we all know, as AV continues to grow in the technical world, also we have to become better IT guys. So our IT guys have been able to help us in a lot of different ways with making separate VLANs for both of our audio networks, video networks, lighting networks, and also Qsys having its own network. So
what you're saying is, instead of having 2 different switches in this rack, you just use the one Netgear switch or whatever it is and have separate VLANs.
Correct. Yeah, we have tie lines back here for our video stuff. This is what goes back to the booth. So if we do plug in like a downstage SDI line for a feed for someone to use their computer, we'll just hit here and then go back to the booth. Same thing with audio. That patch panel that I was talking about, like if we do need an extra couple inputs for a keyboard or something for that secondary system, we just tie it into here and it'll go to the back. And then all of our stage boxes for the SSL. And then what we're doing is running W1 by Whirlwind patch snakes. So these go out, easily versatile. So if we want to swap drums and keys, all we do is have to swap the patch cables, and here we are. At all of our churches, we also have this mic cabinet here. This just helps to keep everything in order, microphones out of cups, and just different areas that you would never want them to be. So we've historically always had this. We'll have a microphone down here, it labeled with what they are, same thing on their body pack, just to keep it nice and clean. One thing our stage managers do after so Saturday service, they'll come in, they'll put new batteries just right next to it so that the next morning that new guy just pops in the batteries, puts it out on stage, we check it. Same thing with our MCs up top. And then it also just gives a spot for our singers just to put their in-ears or keys, whatever, as they're getting ready to go.
Jonathan, thanks so much for taking us around, showing us all the ins and outs of all the AVL here. You know, sometimes I think for those of you who made it to the end of the video, you might feel a little overwhelmed by all the things we talked about. But I think behind the heart of every decision, there's a why probably of why are you guys implementing all this technology, and what's the heart there for Church on the Move?
Yeah, so over the years, I mean, if you've seen Church on the Move from 2013, you'd go, my gosh, like, dude, they pump a lot of money into technology. That's not necessarily our heart and our vision anymore. We're always looking at, okay, what's the next version of Church on the Move look like? Our biggest thing is we're ridiculously in charge of what we have and what we do with our money and what we see our vision for our church. Our mission is introducing people to the real Jesus, and that's the biggest way we're going to try to do it, is through technology in our local church.
That's awesome, man. Well, I for one learned a lot. This is my second time here, and I still learning things. I love the Qsys stuff, the playlister stuff, even the way that you've designed your room and the way it functions all together. Like, it's just top notch. So what was you guys' best takeaway? Drop it in the comments. And if you have questions, drop those in the comments as well. Remember, guys, at the end of the day, we can do a lot of great things. Let's do it all for God's glory. We'll see you in the next one.